What up, guys? How are you? What is up? It's Shani with Healing Elements, and it has been a little minute. It's been a minute since I've done a collective tarot reading, and boy, is it's a pivotal time, right? It always is said on my channel. I think it's indicative for a lot of us. As the years roll by, we are seeing some incredible changes taking place, both for the negative, of course, for now, and the positive, as far as more and more people coming together and talking about, hey, I have this experience, this sense of consciousness being explored, this higher dimensionality about taking a look at something and being very open-minded throughout the whole process, not jumping to conclusions, discount it, or believe it without taking the time to explore with other people in a consensus. And I just think that that is a beautiful thing, that people are realizing that a lot of things that we have the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, since we have truly kind of said, I won't think about that now, I'll think about that effect tomorrow, right? That's from Gone with the Wind. I won't think about that now, I'll think about that tomorrow. Unfortunately, when you put things into that scenario and that perspective, when we're talking about pollution, when we're talking about, what would happen, like tires burn indefinitely. You can go on and on in all sense of the words, going off a little bit, but things that we didn't think through as a global society, things that we have had that are scarred and held in my opinion, in our DNA, in our very cells, such as thousands of years of war and turmoil and persecution for beliefs, superiority thinking, that my race or religion or culture is superior to yours, therefore I need to conquer and overcome and make you believe a set of things that I feel that you should believe. That kind of junk and bullcrap is the old cycle. And so, this is a pivotal time. Shit is going down. We have a lot going on, too much, and I thought that, I'll breathe and validate everything that you are thinking about that's going on in the world, that's going on interpersonally, that's going on when you hopefully do some, introspection and shadow work and purging of some stuck energy, some stuck traumas, or some stuck realizations that we did not consciously acknowledge, that we did not pay homage to, that we did not honor in the past. And that's, not saying that we should. Now is the time. Divine timing is coming through as usual. And now I feel that while we are watching Gaia, Mother Earth, we are watching our world, our populations everywhere on every continent suffer and or learn a lesson in some degree, and or truly have to try to work together or not, and have chaos like there is in China right now because of another lockdown. Do we want to make the same mistakes like as in World War II, taking over people, just invading their space and indiscriminately killing those innocents that are in the pathway? Do we want to do that, or do we want to move forward into a peaceful existence for all of our children, no matter what continent you're on, right? That's really the timeline that we are. It's a tightrope. I got that the other day, wrote it in my journal. It is a tightrope timeline. We are essentially trying to balance on a tightrope of our own integrity and cross over with everybody else out of love, even if they don't feel the same way we do, as opinion-based, politically based, things like that, right? Conservative or liberal, doesn't matter. This is a fight of integrity, of a timeline that could literally be something of a very negative outcome that people predict. Nuclear ending, you name it. So we are walking this tightrope. Present power is within us, though, all of us together. We are mighty, prideful of our love to give. We are strong in the face of adversity. Consciousness, strength in numbers. Like, so you see that we presently, it's the present power, we presently have so much power together if we can just, again, sidestep all the differences. If we can just connect more people and give more people, even if they are cruel and deliver cruel and unusual punishment. If we can literally get to the point of awakening or consciousness in which we realize, it's hard to do at first, I'll be real. So no matter what, I got you, like I validate you, but it's a stage that everybody, I think, if we evolve to our Christ consciousness, if you want to call it that, or our, Buddha, unconditional flow of compassionate caregiving and compassionate listening and ease of flow within our energy fields and the way that we would, in which we interact with people. I feel that we have to give love to those people who are delivering cruel and unusual punishments, even more so, or at least send the intent. It's hard to do, especially for people who are just like, no, I'm going to resent that person and draw blood. I understand, but that is what leads to conflict, wars, and more babies and people dying in gas chambers and people losing their lives when they could have peaceful experience to learn lessons of another kind, not lessons of cruelty. I think the more that we give out love, as hard as it sounds, trust me, I know, it's still, we all battle, even if we go through spiritual awakening and we're at different conclusions. Like, I used to believe in the death penalty, now I don't. It's not like I am like, whoopee for these criminals. No, that's not what it is. However, I feel differently about it. We are all souls in a human experience. We have this physical, tangible brain that can sometimes be really, really skewed and mentally handicapped from traumas, i.e. people who are abused as children. It's this pattern of, we are here, there's a knowing, we are here to learn lessons and people play roles. And I am not giving a pass out or saying hooray for all the crime and, that those people should not be punished. Instead of the death penalty, I think that, punishment should be enforced in this lifetime. If that is to be a lesson of their soul, if they do something, well, yeah, how about this lifetime be entirely miserable based on what decision they made and thrown into jail, lose the key. But for us to kill, that is, I think, what one of the major atrocities of human capability is, that we're trying to eliminate. So why do unto them? We want to do unto them as we want them to do unto others. And so even if it's after the fact, someone gets murdered, I truly would have never believed that I would speak like this before, because of course I, maybe like some of you, I wasn't about vengeance. I never have been. However, I thought, if there is especially a child involved, or, any kind of just disgusting evil deed that is done, unfortunately, I thought, give him the gas chamber, or her, give the person the gas chamber. That's what they deserve. And so I just couldn't I couldn't get past the eye for an eye thing. Full circle, and realize, even though it's hard still for me to practice, I had to forgive somebody who was responsible of a huge abuse in my life. I had to truly, believe that I forgave them, not just say it, no, I forgive. Right now, if you have somebody who is showing you cruel and unusual punishment, it's important to, cut and run, and or do, like gray rock in psychology. It's like where you tap out any investment into getting anything back that is sustenance. But I think the spiritual part of this that is never really, I don't think, talked about in, psychiatric or psychologist type of YouTube sites, is that it's important to, at the same time as you are setting up your boundaries and whatever you need to do, gray rock or cut and run, or just abstain from that person ever again, I think that it's important to mention that you can show intent and throw intent out during your prayers, or just in thought, of healing for that person, and knowing that this is what you're doing out of love, and that person has had somebody or something, no matter how insignificant it is to you, something has given that person the program and patterning to have them inflict these wounds to you. And again, it's going to sound, this video is going to sound like I'm victim shaming. Nope. That's opposite of me. I definitely have been victim shamed. This is just to show you how, I think, far away a lot of people, us, are from grasping what we need, the, unification of consciousness and feeling of unconditional love. I think that is what is going to take, is to, they know not what they do, that type of attitude. Not excuse, not let them get off the hook, but send love instead of hate, and I hope that person dies, or I hope that person gets what's coming to them. But rather than that, say, you know what, I am appreciative of my safety. I am appreciative of what I have. I do not appreciate A, B, C about this person, but you know what? They need healing, because they wouldn't act this way if they didn't need healing. And I'm going to send them positive love and intent out in the universe for healing. And here's our next card. It's hard to do. How funny is this? Victim mentality, right? So when we act or advocate for a victim, if we act like a victim and we advocate for a victim, and you are a victim, that is not having victim mentality. That is being a victim and going through the repercussions of healing in the, court, maybe the law arena, and getting what is due judicially for what has been done to you. That is not what this means. Victim mentality is using that has brought harm into your life, or using a platform to express harm that has been done into somebody's life, to have it be a constant narrative, a mentality, a mental state that is constant. The mentality of blaming everything on the incident, going on, droning on, rather than making progress, rather than healing and seeing what can happen to potentially help other people from feeling like a victim and having to go through this, right? Instead of doing that, it is all about getting out of that rut of being stuck, rooting and advocating for yourself or others that have had something bad happen to them. They've been a victim, however, using that as an absolute end all be all to, well, I can't talk to my mother because she did this. I can't talk to her because they did this. I cannot go outside because there's school shootings. I can't, you know what I mean? Those are pretty rough examples, but that is victim mentality. When we say that it is everybody else's fault because we don't have a job, I hate to be that harsh. That's victim mentality, because it's nobody else's fault for anything in your life except for your own. When you are, again, approached or harmed, of course, you are a victim. And you're not. It's not your fault for having that happen to you, but it is your responsibility after again, what is due and what is needed to be processed and what is needed to be healed is over with, to come out of the victim mentality. A person who is inflicted something really, really tragic, let's say an example that's neutral. Say you are in an accident like my cousin and you lose your legs. And so if you never got back on a motorcycle in his case, or you never got back on the horse when you got bucked off and broke your back, right? Those are really crazy examples. But if you use that excuse forever, there's nothing else to experience here. You would remain in that victim mentality, preventing yourself from having probably some beautiful experiences, and also, of course, some more adverse ones, because that's what this school here on earth is for. It's not just for art class. We're here to do trigonometry too, right? Does that make sense? All right, one more card, guys. I said I'd only make this 10 minutes, and look, I've been rambling. I'll probably edit it out. All right, let's see what we can get. Ooh, why not? 3 fell out. So it's the first one, present power. Interesting. Ooh, that's a lot of power. Optimism. Have optimism, guys. So that's a beautiful message. and the loving man people. So have optimism that your guardian angel, maybe that divine masculine energy that is trying to come forth and needs to be in the mix along with the divine feminine in order to balance, right? Like that tightrope of consciousness, that tightrope of the timeline, that loving man, that nurturing side, that divine feminine within the male, or what you perceive to be male, right? Will be a positive outcome. All of this. Love is the answer when there's conflict, right? We need to rely on a teacher. The past is a huge teacher. So our past lives, if you believe in that, I've had progressive therapy, it's crazy. But the teacher can also be your guardian, spirit guide. It could be those around you. Your higher self is somebody who is there as a fractal of your spirit, your soul, and there for you along the way while you deal with this conflict in this 3D realm, right? And is a teacher because you are constantly listening to that voice, one of the voices, or the intuition and the intuitive guidance that you hear loud and clear, steering you left and right. Your higher self is teaching you at this time to heal, and that there are natural modalities and all kind of ancient wisdom and techniques that send healing light. Really is true when you imagine things, that is basically manifesting and integrating what we have in our brain, the capacity to bring on these beautiful powers. The healing light, when you go through guided meditation, I suggest you do if you've never have, and you are instructed to envision a case of white light, purple, or things of that nature, and have it cleanse you, and you're getting deeper into the meditation. It's beyond. I mean, if I would have known this my whole life, I didn't recognize this until like I'm 39, right? So I'm 45 now. So what you think, your atmosphere becomes. So when you think, if you feel it's in your imagination, that's fine with me because it works. So I could care less about debating whether or not this is a real thing. For me, it's absolutely real. I know the truth is that, Reiki, the energy, the vibrational energy that I use to transfer energy, light from my palms to heal, is real. And so the healing light we can use to soothe our instructions. You can do it just listening to my voice tell you that you are capable of doing this, holding your hands out and doing these exercises that you can easily find, right? And you can feel the energy actually palpable within your hands, and you work with it. Power of intent and focus on what you want to accomplish and heal, and know that is really between you and your higher self and spirit, I believe, assist you. Friends and colleagues. So community is so important. I know that a lot of us are struggling right now, but we're holding it together by fibers. A lot of us are feeling things. We're going through everything, and we're just having to take a step back. This message is, don't forget that there are people there for you when you're ready to come out and to talk. If you feel that there is a safe place and you're ready to talk, by all means, they are a safe haven. There are a lot of people who you can't go to, or learned not to take, your feelings because it's not supportive at all whatsoever. There are people who understand that this is a process that is not for the weary. This whole global, I call it, awakening, and everything else that we're going through, no matter who and what you are, what you're feeling or not, this is a lot to deal with, and so everybody needs, we get by with a little help from our friends. So what's on the bottom of the deck? Yes, right? This whole reading. Oof. Do not let anybody tell you two things. Do not let anybody tell you that you're too afraid or you won't show up for something because you don't bow down to fear. But also don't let anybody tell you that you're not allowed to feel. Allowed, or at least you shouldn't. I love you. Like, you're not supposed to, I would say, ruminate on fear, leaving it encapsulated inside of you, rooting on it, constantly being aware and afraid to do anything, and or afraid and paranoid and anxious about something that might be coming, like a nuclear weapon or an earthquake. However, if you do express, which I will express right now, it's fucking terrifying. It's fucking terrifying what's going on in Russia. It's terrifying what has been going on since 2020 about COVID. Saying that it is terrifying is not saying I am constantly in an active state of being petrified, right? But acknowledging when there is simply the truth, that there is, like that looks angelic, looks like my spirit guide, Japanese gentleman. No, but we need to recognize that when we first find out about something, especially if it's traumatic, we are going to, and the good thing is we can bring ourselves out of it with practice and not go into a total chaotic state, hyperactive, manic state. But it is okay to feel fear when you lose your kid at the playground, or somebody says that your kid wasn't at school today. You know what I mean? There is things in which we are going to feel fear and want to express that to somebody else. And that is, right now I'm giving you permission to do that. I'm also giving you permission to let it go once it is seeping through your body. You feel it, you acknowledge, you make friends with that fear and pain until it's not going to stop you, and you're going to get rid of it in a minute as soon as you get over the shock. That's my advice. I don't think no one will tell you that, guys, because it's either one or the other. It's either a fear from the media or whatever, whoever's out there, YouTubers, or there is, you are not spiritual. You are not on your right path or in your correct frequency of vibration if you are feeling any fear. No bullshit. So there we go. The healing light and optimism again. I was shuffling. So guys, blessings, love, and take care of yourselves, and reach out anytime you want. My email, blessings, love, and tons of light.